Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings. Everton 1, Wolves 1. A disappointing evening at Hill Dickinson Stadium. A lot of people felt like this was going to be a tricky game, and it turned out to be that way. It turned out to be a self-inflicted tricky game, which in the end I'm certainly glad we got a point out of. But very, very frustrated, angry somewhat of how that game slipped away from us from 3 points to only a point. And as I mentioned, I've gone through my match reaction, but I do put certainly the blame on the game starting to slip away from us on Moyes. I've seen comments out there about the red cards, and I know there's a lot of anger about the red cards, and I know Moyes seems furious about the red cards. I mean, they are stupid more than anything. Both reds. You can't, whether sarcastically clapping and pulling hair should be red cards. That's just not the world we live in, unfortunately. But what I would say is that on the 80th minute when that happened, I really didn't think we were going to get any more than a point anyway, because I thought the second half we were absolutely dire. We had this almost arrogance in the second half that all we had to do was just do whatever we wanted, and it never played out, because Wolves were going to have a go. Why wouldn't you have a go? You're only 1-0 down, and you're playing against a team who are showing absolutely nothing. They're not trying to attack. They're not keeping hold of the ball. They're not controlling the ball. And in one moment, it's 1-1 because they've got good players as well, and it's 1-1, and they're thinking then, God, we can win this. And Moyes should have seen the momentum shift. I called this out under Sean Dyche, and I'm certainly going to call it out on David Moyes. Managers should see the momentum shift. Fans do. I think a lot of people who are watching this will have seen that momentum shift in the game, where you could see that it was getting away from us because we didn't start the second half with any kind of hunger or desire. And all it takes is to just have a little look around and go, what do we need? Players were starting to tire. Just one sub. It can take sometimes to just change it a little bit. And David Moyes didn't do that. And even when they scored, he didn't do it for like 15 minutes. Now, I'm a fan of David Moyes. I always have been. But as I say quite often, it's like 75%, 25%, and the 25% does my head in. Like, really does my head in. And I think it's important that you can't sit here going, and I know a lot of people don't, I know a lot of people go the other way. You can't sit here just going, he can't do any wrong, because he does do wrong. He does do wrong. His teams he picks sometimes. People who watch this know I'm not having this back four whatsoever. I'm not having this back four at all. And again, to me, we've shipped 5 goals in 2 games after keeping a clean sheet against Nottingham Forest. I'm just not having this back four. It's as simple as that. And it proved it again for their goal. Yeah. But anyway, Moyes, I will criticise Moyes when he needs to be criticised. Not because I want him sacked or I don't like him. Quite the opposite. I think it's important to call stuff out. Whether you see a player having a bad game or the manager having a bad game, that's the point, isn't it? If we don't call it out, then what's the point? You'll just get accused of favoritism. So Moyes tonight, for not seeing how the game was turning. I put that squarely on him. He's the one with the power to make decisions. What happened afterwards with the red cards, we can debate all day long. All day long. But in no way did I think that we were going to win that game at 1-1. I just didn't think we had anything in the second half. I didn't think we had any kind of life, any kind of spark. And I think for me, it was just about maintaining control or getting some control. And people go, oh, who do we have on the bench? Well, we had the likes of Mail and Roll. We had the likes of Nathan Patterson. We had the likes of Tyler Diblin sitting on the bench who could have come on and just help. Harrison Armstrong, after an hour, looked very, very tired. And it was time, I think for him to come on. So for me, as I said, I'm not going overboard. I'm really disappointed with this result. Really disappointed with obviously Sunday's result. 2 home games. You're not there to entertain the crowd, but you're there to show the crowd that you have a control, a dominance, or I just expect more from this manager. I just expect more from him. Rightly or wrongly, maybe I'm completely wrong to expect more, but I just think he let it slip through his fingers, the manager tonight, when there was an opportunity to, he said in the press conference, well, if we'd got the second, yes, and we'd hit the post and stuff. But second half, we were dreadful second half, like absolutely dreadful. Like I think the last time I looked, when I looked during the game, our XG was like 0.09 or something. It was awful. We were terrible second half. So yeah, we've drawn the game. We've drawn the game to a team who are bottom of the league, and I haven't even got to 10 points. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, come on. So listen, you can. I'm not sitting here saying no one can. Anyone can say what they want. It's up to them about the manager. I'm not gonna go. I think we go on. But what I will say is, ownership wise, if I was going to say anything, is that we need players. We need players. We need new players. This nonsense of not having a right back, honestly, there's still, what is that? 17 games to go. And we're going to play the rest of the season without a right back. It's nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense. We need a right back. I mean, look at it. Look at the situation now. We haven't got Keane for 3 games. No idea whether Branthwaite will come back in that time. So you've been forced into having someone play right back now. Nathan Patterson, James Garner, whoever. That's football. That's the reality of football. We have to get a right back in. The owners, Angus Kinnear, I've got to look at the situation. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we're not dire or anything. It's not like it's but it's football, isn't it? You need players to play in those positions. And so we need fullback. We need a right back. It's common sense. We don't have a right back who is up to the level of playing in the Premier League week in and week out to the standard that we require. And that has to be fixed. And I'm sick of hearing, oh, you can't buy players in this window. Yes, you can. We need 2 right backs minimum, right? We need a starting one and a backup one. And neither of those players are at Everton Football Club. Seamus Coleman is finished. And Nathan Patterson should be allowed to leave. So if we were to buy a player now who could almost be given the next few months as an opportunity, and then in the summer we go and get our real top target. But I just think it's absolutely nonsense. That's a good word. Negligence. That's a good word. I just think it's nonsense that we're sitting here in the first week of January. Everton's team have had 4 months together to go and track down a right back somewhere. To me, that's just like it should be getting done. And I'm all out of listening to excuses. I really am. I am all out of listening to excuses. We've got players in other positions, and whether you think they're good enough or not, we are shoehorning a centre half. If I have to watch Jake O'Brien putting crosses in and being the width on our right hand side for much longer, my head will explode. You know, it will explode because he's a centre back, and he's not even like he's an ala centre back as well. He's a proper like, head everything all day kind of centre back. He's not like a Brantwaite centre back. I find it honestly farcical that we are in this situation with the right back. I honestly find it farcical. We knew we needed one this time last year. We knew we needed one in the summer, and we certainly know we need one now. And yet, there doesn't seem to be anything happening. Yes, there's the occasional rumour, but there just doesn't seem to be anything happening. And I find that staggering. I really do. Maybe I'm asking too much, and maybe people will go to me, "Oh, we're all right, we're fine." It's like, yeah, but I want to be better than fine. I want to move up the table. In the last week and tonight, there was really good opportunities to move into the top half of the table. We've got tough games coming up, really tough games coming up. And, in the next few weeks, we will get players back. But I can't. You're a football club. The whole point of it is to, like, Moyes will say, "Oh, we're stretched." If we're stretched, and we're going to get players back. Guess what? We're not going to get back a right back. Do you know why? Because we don't have one. And that, to me, is what I find absolutely incredible. Is that, yes, players will come back and we'll still be relying on a centre-back to play right back. And yet, for the next 3 games, he ain't playing right back. Unless Jared Brantwaite comes back, which I don't think he will be in the next 3 games. So, the decision is being taken out of the manager's hands. Whether you agree with that sending off or whatever, that has been taken out of the manager's hands. And that's what happens in football. And sometimes that's where David Moyes is better. When things are taken out of his hands, when he has to make, when he's down to the bare bones. But I imagine Nathan Patterson will be playing right back on Saturday. And that's the end of it. And he'll be playing right back against Villa. And he'll play right back against Leeds. Because that's the way it is. Yeah, it's crazy. I find it crazy. I really do. I don't want to be the old, if these fellas think they've got, got the money that they say they've got, but I just can't, leave that one hanging there. I just can't keep watching these 3 centre backs playing at the back for us. I just can't. It's honestly, it's just one player. All I'm asking for is one player. I'm prepared to, the other players. Yes, I know we need a new left back. I know we need strengthening in other positions. We need like a fast winger, but we definitely need a right back. And honestly, it is just a little bit soul destroying. It really is. So, yeah. I'm not sure how other people feel about it, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion on it. And certainly we need one because we're not going to have. It's going to be Nathan Patterson, a guy who, couldn't get in the last 2 games, even though he'd done all right against Forest. He wasn't amazing against Forest. We know he wasn't amazing, but that's the whole point, isn't it? That's why we need a new right back. So, yeah, I'm struggling a little bit with that one. Help the manager out. If you believe in the manager, help him out. Get the transfer committee together and sort this out. So, yeah. Let's get into the player ratings. Jordan Pickford. Some of his kicking really annoyed me in this game. Some like aimless kicking, but he made a big save late on at 1-1. If that had gone in, obviously that would been the winning goal. So he's made a big save late on to get us a point. Made 3 saves. His kicking did annoy me. It's just he was just playing these a couple of times, daft long balls out wide. That, yeah. But he did make a really, really big save late on. So, yeah, I'll give him 7. Jacob Brien should have done a lot better for the goal. The lad's gone right between him and it was Toffee, wasn't it? It's gone right between him and Toffee. No, he's not going to catch him. And it's sort of similar to the 3rd goal, is it? 4th goal. No, hang on. Don't know. 3rd goal on Sunday. Won 6 out of 7 aerial duels. Didn't win any of his ground duels. Yeah, I didn't think Jake had a particularly good game. Yeah, didn't think he had a particularly good game. So Jake O'Brien, I'll give a 5. Sally Michalenko on the other side. Won 2 out of his 5 aerial duels. Won 2 out of his 3 aerial duels. Again, in the final third, just leaves a lot to be desired. 1 cross, unsuccessful. It's another position we need to sort out. He just doesn't get forward enough. He doesn't get into the right areas. Just show you the sheet map there. Look, he barely gets past into their half, or he just, again, he's another one who just doesn't do enough for me. Certainly in the attacking part of the pitch where we need him. So Michalenko, I'll give a 6 for tonight. James Tarkowski, a couple of really, there was certainly one silly pass that nearly cost us on half time. It's not, numbers wise, he's good. Won 8 out of 11 aerial duels, won 3 out of 4 ground duels. But again, I think it's the whole makeup of the back four, just with no pace in it, is just very, very worrying. When anyone with pace attacks us, you just feel like we're in trouble. Anything aerial, anything like that. I think we were a lot better on set pieces tonight. I think we dealt with set pieces a lot better than we have been. Don't know whether that was a combination of their morals, but we did deal with a lot, and Taki and Michael Keane, dealt with a lot of that. So James Tarkowski, I'll give a 5.5. Michael Keane won 4 out of 6 ground duels, 1 out of 2 ground duels. Obviously scored a great goal and hit the post, but we're not talking about any of that, are we? What we're talking about is him getting himself sent off, and it's a weird one, isn't it? Because at first, when it came up, it was like, what are they looking for, or who are they leaving looking for? And then when you see it, I know Moyes is furious about it. It is a weird one because he has got hold of his hair. He has got hold of his hair, and it's like, does he mean to do that? Because if he doesn't mean to do that, then if he does mean to do it, then it is a red card, I suppose. If he doesn't mean to do it, then clearly it's not a red card. I just find it mad that we've had 3 sendings off. One's for one player slapping his own teammate, one for pulling hair, and one for sarcastically clapping. That will never ever happen to any other team. in the same way that, um, the same way that Dewsbury Hall got suspended for like taking a free kick too quickly, and some of the daft stuff he got booked for, which was just pure nonsense. If he's done it, like if he's meant it, and I'll be honest, when you watch it, it does look like he means it. Moyes can complain about people having long hair all like it sounds like Mr. Burns, actually, shave those sideburns, hippie. It does look like he means it. I do. It does look like he definitely means to pull his hair. So that's just my opinion from watching it. He looks like it's deliberate. I'm not like I get people being absolutely furious. I find in this day and age that we complain about the rules rather than, if you, do you know what I mean? It's like the rules are there, and then we complain about them when the referees stick to the rules, if that makes sense. So I think in terms of like both red cards, that's they're the rules. The same way that they got a man booked for asking for one of our players to be booked. It's that kind of thing, isn't it? It's like, what the rules are. So Michael Keane pulls his hair. I'm sure he knew that I'm sure he's been briefed that that's a red card offence. And as I said, it does look deliberate. It does look like he gets a good handful of his hair. It wasn't like he had his hand on his back and the hand just happened to be covering his hair. It looked like he had his hand like that, holding his hair and pulling him down. And that's actually quite dangerous when you think about it, for the neck. I know people make light of it, but that could be, if you pull down on someone with all that force, that could actually be very dangerous. So there you go. Let me have a cup of tea. Let me have a bit of my tea. And as I said before, the referee up to that point had probably been the best referee I'd seen all season at the stadium. And after that, he fell apart. He absolutely fell apart after that, the referee. And was it only something like his second Premier League game? He seemed to just fall apart after that. So, yeah. So, he scores a goal. He nearly gets a second one. And then he does that. It was the ultimate Michael Keane experience. The ref did decide, because the ref went to the screen. I'd rather the ref go to the screen and make the decision than someone in VAR go, send him off. That's, to me, whether you like it or not, that's the me how decision should be made. If you're using VAR, is that the centre of the screen. He has to make a decision, and he doesn't have to go along with what they say. But he's decided to. Now, as I said, it looks like he's pulled his hair. To me, it looks like he's deliberately pulled his hair. Now, if the letter of the law is a red card, I don't think any of us can really complain about that. To be honest, because that's football, isn't it? I think we can all decide whether we like that kind of, if we like football like that. And that's another thing, isn't it? That's another thing entirely. If you think that's a terrible decision, and I think in terms of like the rule, then I have no problem with that either, because that's unfortunately where football is going, is to be like completely sanitized. That's where the game is going, sadly. Although, as it's been pointed out to me, a Wolves player has very nicely put 6 studs into the back of Harrison Armstrong's calf and only got a yellow card for it. And it looks horrendous. Not in slow motion, in real time. It looks horrendous. So, that's what, again, people will argue about, won't they? Saying that's actually a lot more dangerous and it looks a lot more deliberate. But I'll be honest, I'm not going to like kick up a fuss about the Michael Keane one because to me it does look deliberate, and that's the way it is. So Michael Keane, I'm going off the fact that I think it looks very deliberate. So I'll give him a 4 for today. Could have been a hell of a lot lower. If it's not deliberate, then it would be higher. James Garner, again, first half thought he thought he did well. Some good tackles. He looked like he tired second half. Looked like, I don't know, the amount of games had just started to take its toll on him. Won 2 out of 4 ground duels, won 1 out of 1 aerial duels, 2 out of 2 tackles, 60 touches of the ball, 84% pass accuracy. He was all right, and he wasn't. Again, it wasn't. I do, like I said the other day, I much prefer when we've got 3 in midfield who all can do like a little bit of rotation, who can rotate around each other. I think it allows for players to make better runs, to get into better areas. They're not stuck in like defensive roles for the whole game. So again, I thought James Garner just had a decent. As I said, I did think he tired in the second half and was less effective in the second half. Wasn't getting on the ball as well as he had been in the first half. So looked like he was starting to look a little bit tired. And I think that the free in midfield in first half was superb. And the main reason why we were so on top is because they just kept on winning the ball back and putting us into nice areas. And the second half, I think that just stopped. That we weren't doing that. And that's why I think Moy should have made a sub after an hour to just keep that midfield ticking over. And I think that's where we lost the momentum in the second half. So James Garner give a 7 for tonight. Tinema Burnham, some good things, some bad things, some nice runs on the ball. But then other times, like his decision not when he was running through and he had Jack Grealish to his left and he should have just put it into Jack and he didn't. And then the ball sort of gets taken off him, but still finds its way to Jack. But by then they had 3 or 4 defenders back and he knew he'd messed up. But as I said, he had some good moments and just a couple of like poorer moments. Won 10 out of 16 ground duels won. Won 3 out of 5 tackles. So in terms of like, again, defensive numbers, really, really good. 80% pass accuracy. 1 out of 2 dribbles successful. And again, he just seemed to tired in the second half or was just on the edges of the game, not really sort of massively in the game. So Tim, I would give a 7 as well. And Harrison Armstrong making his Premier League debut. I thought first half he was superb. Every time he got the ball, his body shape was perfect to go forward. Didn't always come off, but that's fine. I think that's what people want to see. We're sick of watching midfielders get the ball and go backwards. We're sick of watching players pick up the ball and slow the game down. I think there was a couple of opportunities where maybe in with more games, then he'd slide Barry in. So it was a really promising first half. I think he tired, which is what you'd expect. Yes, he's played a lot of games in the Championship, but I don't think they're played to the level of Premier League football. And I think that caught up with him, and I think that's where Moyes probably should have took him off. Won 6 out of 11 ground duels, won 2 out of 4 aerial duels, 1 out of 2 tackles, 42 touches of the ball, 2 out of 4 dribble attempts. 76 pass accuracy. You can just see his heat map there. Breaking into the final third of their half. And I think there's a lot of promise in there. And what was exciting was, again, the three of them, first half, looked really good together. Obviously, the opposition wasn't amazing. I just think they all tired. Basically, at the same time, they all looked like they tired for different reasons. Or by one of them tired, and the other two just wasn't working for the other two. And I think that's where Moyes should have maybe took Harrison off after an hour and replaced them with Mail and Roll and said, just go and do the same job and just keep it ticking over. It wasn't a case of like changing the game. It was keeping the game going. That's what subs are supposed to do. Just keep the games going. And I think that's where Moyes made a mistake. Just he left them on for too long, and I think in the end it's cost us because they started just picking up the ball and running at us. Whereas in the first half that wasn't happening. We were closing them down. We were getting a foot in. We were getting a tackle. We were pushing into areas where they didn't want to go. It didn't happen second half. They just started getting a grip of the ball. And it cost us ultimately in the end. So Harrison Armstrong, I would give a 7-2 as well. Dwight McNeil, .41 touches of the ball. 1 out of 2 dribbles. 2 out of 6 crosses. I mean, I'll just show you the heat map. Playing on the right wing. That's a heat map for someone playing on the right wing. Yeah. Yeah. Just not good enough. Just ultimately, I mean, without sounding, just slows the game down. Just, he's all left foot playing on the right. You know, we have to move away from this. We have to move away from. I would love that. Knowing Moneyball, that's the night where he keeps on playing the first baseman, and he goes to play him, and he walks in, and he's like, "Nah, I sold him. You're gonna have to play the fella I want." I would love that to happen. You can't play him because he doesn't play for us anymore. He plays for Notts Forest. But I just don't. I just don't understand, again, Moyes putting Tyler Dibblin on the bench. Unless he's got an injury that we don't know about. I just don't understand it. Let him go out there and make his mistakes. Like, what are we doing? What are we, where are we going as a football club? Like, we've got young players and we're not letting them play football to make them become better footballers. We're just letting them sit on the bench. And they are sitting there and people who have got no future at this football club are playing in front of them. And that's what I find incredibly disappointing, is that we could have a team of Harrison Armstrong, Tim Boonham, Jake O'Brien's, Tyler Dibblin, Barry, and you go, well, at least there's some future. Asnu coming on for 15 minutes. That's the future, and we're giving them games, and we're seeing what they're all about. And that's the future of Everton Football Club. And it's just like, no, we're going to leave a lad that we paid 40 million for on the bench and he's going to be a player who's going to play in front of him is a player who's not even the right winger, who's got no right foot whatsoever and has got no pace and actually makes running fast look really, really difficult. I find that's again a proper blind spot for Moyes. Like, give these lad, give I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Dwight McNeil, I'd give a 5. Grealish, I wasn't really impressed with Jack too much before he got sent off. He looked frustrated all night. He looked like, he got four out of seven dribbles, 4 successful. He just looks really frustrated at times tonight with everything around him, the players around him, the situation. He still slows the game down too much for me, Jack. But he still makes so much happen. He makes so much happen. I mean, look at his heat map. Look where he is. Like, I'm not like making excuses for him. I'm just saying, I would not scoring more goals from this fella. He's so far ahead of other players in terms of his intelligence and in terms of like the opportunity to create chances. But he does frustrate me at times, and I think it's bubbled over. I think I'm sure I've seen something before. He's been booked 7 times this season for us, and 6 have been for this scent. I can understand why, mate. I can understand why. I think he gets massively frustrated by 2 things: getting booted quite a lot, and probably his own players. But the sending off is just stupid. It's just stupid. There's no point going like overboard about it. It's stupid. It's petulant. Like, he could have really cost us tonight. He could have really cost us. So I think he'll be missing Saturday. I think that's hurting. That's going to hurt us massively because he's our only creative player. So that could massively hurt us. For a lad of his age and his experience, you'd expect a little bit better than that, to be fair. You expect a little bit better than that. So Jack, I give a 5. He got sent off. What can I do? He's gone off for petulance. You can't do that. Whether we think the rule is stupid or it isn't stupid, you're not allowed to do it. It's in the rules. You just can't do it. And as I said, we can all bemoan the rules all we want and decide whether we think that's acceptable. You can't do that. And we're going to be missing our most creative player on Saturday. So, yeah. So I'll give him a 5. And Barry, Tieno Barry. I'll be honest, I thought Tieno Barry was garbage tonight, like proper garbage. I think my biggest issue with Tieno Barry is that he doesn't upset anybody. He doesn't upset defenders. He doesn't bully defenders. He doesn't get under the skin of defenders. He doesn't, really worry defenders. He's won 5 out of 12 aerial duels tonight, 3 out of 6 ground duels. Great. He's touched the ball 22 times. But I think the thing about it is like, number one, he never looked like he was going to score tonight. But he just, whether people like it or not, a centre forward, certainly one who's playing on their own, has to hurt people, has to get in people's faces, has to run round and get involved and make sure that they know they're in a game. And I just don't think, upset someone like the lad clearly upset Michael Keane. So I just think, he's got to start doing better. It's like, yeah, it's like, again, I know we scored a couple of goals last few games, but he was absolutely nowhere near the level tonight. Absolutely nowhere near the level. And that's got to be the basics, just getting in people's faces and just hating people. And he just doesn't do it. So, yeah, he just doesn't do it. So I'll give him a 4. The subs, Nathan Patterson didn't do anything. It wasn't on the pitch very long. Beto played for what? 13 minutes plus. What was it? Like 9 minutes. Didn't really do anything. Had 4 touches of the ball. I mean, we were under the cosh at that point. We came on him very quickly. We were down to 9 men. So I'll give him a what? I don't think he did anything. Give him a 5.5. But yeah. But that's it. That's it. The reason I give Michael Keane less than I give Jack Grealish is, because I couldn't care less if he scored or not. To me, he deliberately pulled his hair. So that's why he got given less, because it was just stupid. Really, really, really stupid. And he's going to be out for 3 games. But yeah, it was crap. It was absolutely crap. It was crap. We've just drawn 1-1. We've just thrown away a really good opportunity to go into the top half of the table. It was just crap. We've just had 4 games. We've picked up 5 points against 3 absolutely garbage teams. And, Brentford are doing all right. I think they've gone, 5th tonight? But, yeah. Listen, it's been a tough month in terms of players. We've got, if Senegal win on Friday, then we won't see, then we've got 1 more Premier League game till we get the 2 back. If they get beat, we get them back for Villa. So, yeah. It was just crap, money. It was crap. Just a crap. One thing I would say is the fans tried tonight. Fans tried to get songs going all around the ground, by the way. All around the ground, fans were trying to get the atmosphere going. At loads of different points of the game. No one got off. No one got off early. Even in a game like that, no one got off early, which is mad. Everyone stayed to the bitter end. But just buy some players, please. Buy a right back, please. Please buy a right back. Buy a right back, please. Because you're going to have to buy one, aren't you? Because you're not going to have one for the... you're not going to have... you're going to have to play one on Saturday in the next couple of games. So, yeah. There you go. Listen, fair play to the 9 players who dug in and got us through the point. I didn't say everyone stayed. I said most people stayed. I didn't say everyone stayed, but it wasn't like it wasn't like mass walkout like it has been. So, but I expect on Saturday it'll be Nathan Patterson and and Jake will play centre back, unless he decides to maybe play Mail and Roll there um or James Garner. I don't know. Yeah. Listen, I know people saying it was 1-1, it was a close game. People got off when we were beating Forest 3-0. So I'm just saying I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt. It was better atmosphere. People tried to get the atmosphere going tonight. People were a little bit more, and actually you think it might have been a little bit more subdued tonight. But it wasn't. So fair enough. But yeah, Saturday's going to be very interesting. Early kickoff, 7,000 Mackhams, who'll have all been on the air since probably 7 o'clock in the morning. FA Cup. And then once that game's done, then we've got a week, haven't we, till our next one, and we can hopefully start getting players back and getting some freshness back in the squad, because it's been a tough couple of months in terms of games played and players we've lost. So hopefully we start to get those players back. But as soon as we start getting players back, we've just lost 2 through suspension. So that's football, and that's why you can never look at it and go, well, when we get all our players back, it'll be fine. It never works out like that. Ever works out like that. You will always get suspensions. You will always get injuries. You will always get everything. Something will always happen to you during the season. So we have to make our squad better. Let's do it. Let's start ASAP. If we've got anything about us, then we want to do anything, then there you go. Right, I'm going. Make sure you check out Baz's videos. Make sure you check out my Southstand reaction. The vlog should be available now as well. Make sure you check out them. And I'll see you all tomorrow. See you later.